Hey there, Ari Altman from the Tech Buyers Guru, and I'm here to review the brand new Logitech G935 wireless gaming headset. Before I do, I want to mention a couple of things about this video. In fact, this is the first time I've uploaded a video review for quite some time, and that is because the whole studio got a a redo, a reset, so to speak. We got new paint in here, so kind of a nice blue, which you can kind of see in the background. And I also have a new studio recording setup. I have a Panasonic Lumix G85 micro four thirds camera and a Rode shotgun mic. So you hopefully will find, if you've seen previous studio videos that I've done, that this one is better. So let's hope so at least. Okay, let's get into the G935. Here we go. This is launching today, February 5th, 2019, from Logitech, of course. This is their new premium wireless gaming headset. It's a surround model, so it does feature the new DTX Headphone X 2.0, which is a little bit confusingly branded given that it's actually a 7.1 standard, but they call it 2.0. And it is a simulated surround, so you only have two drivers. Luckily, the drivers are very capable, 50 millimeter drivers. That's up from the 40 millimeter in the previous G933, which this headset looks identical to. The good news is that it's what's inside that counts, and yes, the drivers are improved. In fact, so are the ear cups. These are leatherette, which are quite a bit more comfortable than the sport mesh they used to use. And it's funny, at CS 2019, Logitech actually kind of admitted that even though the sport mesh is better at preventing sweat, most users don't really care about that. That's not how they judge ear cups or headphones. They want something that's really comfortable, and this leatherette compound is a lot more comfortable than the sport mesh. Other things I want to mention is that, as usual, you get a USB receiver, and Logitech has a really cool feature, which is that you can actually slip the receiver right into the side of the headset right here, so that you can take it with you and anywhere you go, and you won't lose it. So that is a really neat feature. Also, of course, there's a battery in here. I'm not sure if you can get replacement batteries, but you can see what it looks like here. There's the battery. You get 12 hours of battery life without Rgb effects and 6 hours with Rgb effects. So that's a little bit on the low side. I'd say that's below average. It's even a little bit below what the previous G933 could do. I think that's because of the bigger audio drivers. So you can see the Rgb effects here. There aren't a lot of headphones on the market that actually do have Rgb effects. And, you know, it's partly because, well, it's probably a couple things. First of all, it does reduce battery life significantly, as you can see, about 50%. And also, when you're wearing it, well, you can't see the Rgb effects. But if you're an esports player, or you go to public events where you want people to see your team's color, or you just want to show off, these headphones will let you do it, but you'll only do it for 6 hours. Other things I want to mention, as usual, Logitech has this really cool flip down extending boom mic, and it's flip up to mute, which is a feature I really love, particularly on teleconferences when I want to be able to shut myself off while other people are talking and make sure there's no chance that I'm going to be heard chomping on my sandwich or my chips or drinking my Coke or whatever it is. So that's a really cool feature. It disappears right into the side of the headset, and I love that feature. What's more important, though, for audio quality is the driver in here. It's now upgraded to a 6 millimeter driver. And so I will be actually momentarily testing the audio from this mic and comparing it directly to the HyperX Cloud Flight. Now, there's the box up there. For 2018, that was my choice for the top gaming wireless gaming headset, and I am going to compare that to this headset in terms of mic quality as well as the audio quality. So in just a moment, I will do that mic test, and at the same time, I'm going to be showing you the brand new Logitech G Hub software suite, which replaces Logitech's gaming software as the go-to one-stop shop for all your Logitech peripheral controls. I will be back in a second. So I am using the G935's built-in flip-down microphone right now. You can decide if you think it's great, good, passable, or poor. I'm going to do a comparison to the HyperX in a moment, but while I'm using this microphone, I might as well show you the brand new desktop interface for Logitech. This is called the G Hub, and it's really a new, completely ground up redesign of the Logitech gaming software that it replaces. So it uses kind of a block style, which is really in vogue these days, and it has all your Logitech peripherals right up front, really easy to select. As you can see, I have the G703, the PowerPlay, and the G935 set up on this system right now. Um, so I'm going to flip over to the G935 so you can see its controls. Of course, we do have the RGB controls. I have it on fixed right now. You have kind of cycle, breathing, a few other features, plus off if you want to change, if you want to save power. And I'm going to show you something here. If I go into this gear selector, I can see that at my current battery level, 99%, I have 13 hours. Now watch what happens when I switch on the lighting. So let's say fixed. By the way, it always defaults back to the Logitech blue. You can see that here. I use this color here to match my other gear. So let's see what it says now. Well, very helpfully, it tells me that I'm down to 6 hours on this RGB setting. So, so 6 hours max with RGB and about 12 hours max without RGB. That is a little bit below average, or quite a bit below average, really. So that's one area where Logitech is still kind of finding its way. At least it's honest about that in its new software. Let's see, what else can I show you here? You also have, you can set all these G keys. So that's a feature that a lot of modern headsets don't have, but this has a lot of these shortcut keys. You can do a lot of actions, macros, etc., which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we have controls for DTS Headphone X 2.0. Creatively, all the volumes go to 11, inspired, of course, by the great film Spinal Tap. Um, we can shut off surround sound like this. Okay, so now I've shut it off, and that's just going to be standard stereo. I turn it back on, and it turns on DTS Headphone X. A couple things I would note about this interface is I think it's still kind of in beta. They call it early access software, kind of in the spirit of Steam's early access program. I would really like to see a little bit more kind of a little bit better interface here. And in particular, this icon is really too small. I can't even read it, the DTS Headphone X 2.0. And I'd like to be able to click on that to turn that on and off. Maybe up here they'd have like stereo in big letters, stereo and DTS Headphone X, rather than click on this little box. The lighting, I'm just going to show you. Let's see if we select cycle. It's not addressable RGB, so it's one color at a time, but you can see that actually this is exactly what my headset's doing right now. And it helpfully demonstrates it right in the interface right here. So that's pretty cool. And by the way, this is synced to my PowerPlay mat and my G703 mouse, so they are also showing the same colors. But I don't need a whole rainbow on my desk, so I go back to fixed here. And of course, it always defaults back to Logitech Blue, so I'll select the color that I had before. So that's pretty much it on the interface. So one thing that I think that Logitech has to fix in this, and again, this is kind of early access software, is that they need to bring this settings button down over here where the other settings are. I'm not sure how they missed that. Why do I have the gear icon here when I have so many other settings here? I would love that to be a little bit more accessible, and just it would make a lot more sense. I mean, I don't know why these settings are different from all the other settings. Other than these aren't, yeah, look, the device startup effect and sleep timer, yeah, these should be in the main settings page. Let me just check what they do with the G703. I think this might be a standard they're going to have to fix across all their peripherals. Same thing here, for their G703 mouse. I just don't know why that wouldn't be along with all the other settings. But other than that, I think it looks great. Logitech has really done a great job redesigning its interface. And this, I think, was recently launched. It's actually the first time I've used it with their peripherals. And I believe it is going to be replacing Logitech's gaming software LGS suite. So look for it on the website, on the Logitech website. They don't actually have it listed as the first choice because I guess it's considered kind of beta, but it's really, if you're an enthusiast and you want to see the latest features and the cleanest design, this is what you're going to be wanting to use. So this is the built-in boom mic on the HyperX Cloud Flight, another wireless gaming headset in the same price range as the Logitech G935. I think it's fairly comparable. You can decide which one you like more. All right, I just got done with a few hours of playtesting this headset, and I'll tell you, Logitech has done a fantastic job. First of all, the surround implementation is great. So this is DTS Headphone X 2.0, which is a huge improvement over the original. And although it is a simulated 7.1 surround, it sounded great, in particular in Battlefield 5. It really allowed you to identify where sounds were coming from. And the amount of bass that this provides is pretty amazing. Explosions really were in my head. This headset definitely provides a great gaming experience. A couple other things I'm going to mention that I really like about what Logitech has done with this design is all of the controls are hardware based. So we have a power switch up here that's a toggle switch. You turn it on and off. No like holding things for 5 seconds or not knowing whether or not it's on or off. You just visually you can tell it's on. All right. Next, it has a scroll wheel for the volume, and that volume wheel is on the same side. So all the controls are on this side. I really like that. I just reach up and I can find my controls. Of course, you got the macro or G keys as they call them over here as well. Just two criticisms I have of this headset. First, it's a little bit stiff. So when I first put it on, I felt, these steel bands, they probably need to break in a little bit. And so over time, you'll probably get that to loosen up a bit. The other criticism I have of this headset is it's pretty heavy. It's about something like 13.4 ounces on my scale. That compares with 10.5 for a really good, like the HyperX Cloud Flight. And of course, any wired headset's going to be a lot lighter than this. So while Logitech you may find some marketing material that says this is a lightweight headset, it's not lightweight. It's fairly heavy, and I'll tell you, when you have it on your head, you know it's there. It's not going to disappear on your head, and that's not improved by the fact that the steel headband has a lot of tension on it. So I will say it's probably not the most comfortable headset I've ever worn, but it's close, and of course it's packing in a lot of technology. So overall, I really like it. And by the way, I have set it so that to save battery power, you can just have just the G logo doing the Rgb effects or doing a breathing effect. It saves a lot of battery power. It barely uses any power at all to run the G. Right now I have the backlighting as well, but that cuts battery power in half. So I wouldn't bother with that. I'd suggest if you want a little lighting, just have the G logo light up to match your other peripherals. So overall, I'm really impressed with this headset. I think Logitech has taken to heart criticisms of its previous headsets and really looked at what its competitors are doing. And at $170, you're getting a ton of features in this headset. So I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is actually a pretty high score for a headset. And in this competitive landscape, I'm actually going to call this the #1 wireless gaming headset for 2019 that I tested so far, and I don't see a lot of others coming out anytime soon. There were no other ones that I saw announced at CES that really piqued my interest. So I think this is going to be it, guys. This is going to be the new recommendation for a wireless gaming headset. So good job, Logitech, on this headset. And if you have comments or questions, post them down below. I'd appreciate a like and subscribe if you like this video so I know that you want to see more. And I will catch you next time.